So I've been really depressed here lately, and that's why I have not really been posting content, but it has sparked an idea that I'm going to share my mental health with you guys. And I don't really think I've really talked about it a whole lot before, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys my journey. As a kid, I was really angry all the time. I wanted to fight. I didn't necessarily have like a bad attitude, but I just like didn't listen, and I was just angry. I was 14 when my husband and I got together, and I really started doing a lot better. But then I started having these heart palpitations, and my mom got me into see a cardiologist, and they told me that I was having a lot of anxiety problems, and so they put me on medication for it. About a year after I found out that I had anxiety, and a year after being on medication for it, I found out that I was pregnant, and magically I didn't really have to deal with anxiety anymore. I wasn't having any depression problems. I was actually really happy given the circumstances of being a teen mom. You know, a baby is always a blessing. I was super excited to, have a baby. So it was shortly after I had our son, I started being really, really mean to my then boyfriend, now husband. I pushed him away. That's just as brutally honest as it gets. And he started, cheating on me, talking to other girls. And I was so mad, but then I look back, I'm like, well, I wasn't nice to him. Like, I pushed him to that point. It still isn't right, regardless of the circumstances, but I wanted to fight people. I was mean. I was cruel. I didn't know it was postpartum depression then, but I know now. I'll have to do a part 3 for this. After our son was born, I did start to calm down because I had something that really stopped me in my tracks and made me realize I can't be angry, I can't be fighting, I can't be doing all those things. Like, I need to change. And it was like a come to Jesus moment, and I really changed my attitude. And but unfortunately, my then boyfriend, now husband, was still making bad choices, and it was just a really hard time. For some reason, my anxiety and depression was doing a lot better during that time, and I remained strong, or so I thought. In a lot of ways, I feel like I was just like gliding through life, just like trying to get to day by day and just live my life. But a lot of things happened from in between my first baby to my fourth baby, and I will get to that to the next part. After I had our second baby and our third baby, I was completely fine, other than when my husband went to Afghanistan and there was a lot of combat and danger over there. But other than that, I feel like that was like situational. It wasn't like because I just had a baby. But when he came home, he dealt with a lot of PTSD, and he drank a lot. And unfortunately, it sparked PTSD for me. And I don't want that to sound like I was trying to make it all about myself, but he did a lot of things that I have never really told anybody before. And it was really hard on our marriage for a long time, and I was so unsure of things. And then in the midst of his alcohol abuse, I got pregnant with baby number 4, and my whole pregnancy was an absolute nightmare. My entire pregnancy with our fourth baby was really stressful because, he was drinking 2 bottles a night, drinking himself to death. He was in literally the aftermath and dealing with PTSD from Afghanistan, and also dealing a lot of things with his childhood. So my whole pregnancy, I didn't really get to enjoy it, and it was really sad. It was stressful. We only had a 3-bedroom house. We already had 3 kids. They were so close in age. And then after our daughter was born, my anxiety and depression was so bad. But this time it was so different. It wasn't in the form of anger like it was the time before. It was sad, and I cried and cried and cried, and my heart would just race all the time. I couldn't sleep. I was so scared that one of my kids were going to stop breathing in their sleep. I would literally just walk up and down the hall like all night. I'd set alarms on my phone to check on the kids. It was so compulsive, and I wasn't sleeping, and my behavior was so erratic. When you're in such a dark place, it's so hard for you to be able to see the horizon. And, I felt like my life was useless. I cried all the time. I didn't want to live anymore. And I couldn't lean on my husband for support because, he was also going through PTSD from his childhood in Afghanistan. So it was really hard, and unfortunately, because of his drinking, it did cause me and the kids to leave. He did something that I just felt like I had to go. I couldn't do it anymore. And it didn't help that all of his friends at the time would always hype him up. Oh, drink, take this, drink, drink, drink. Like, they didn't see how he was when he came home. And I begged and begged and begged for them to stop, but it's like no one actually heard me. And I felt very alone when I lived at Fort Campbell. But then I had a friend who, in the midst of all of this chaos, made me get up and do something about it. I'm gonna go ahead and tag her in the comments because I don't think she really understands just how important she is and an important role she played in my life. And I know I don't thank her enough, but Sam, I love you so much. I'm the type of person, I push people away, and I don't like to ask for help. And she showed up at my door almost every single day. She helped me clean my house. She got me out of the house. She just came and sat and talked with me. And you know, she was also going through a really hard time, so I feel like in a lot of ways we were able to feed off of each other and each other's energy. And Sam, I love you so much. You probably saved my life, because I was thinking all kinds of harsh thoughts about myself and that I didn't even want to live anymore. So I'm so thankful for you, and you'll never know what you mean to me. Thankfully, my husband was able to get into some counseling and get some help for his drinking, which thank God. But I had to make a decision if I wanted to go back home to Ohio with my family, or if I wanted to go to Washington, where he was going to be stationed at next in Fort Lewis. And I made the choice to go to Fort Lewis with him, and we agreed that we would just start over, clean slate, new place, new house, new friends, new setting, everything. And honestly, that did a lot for my mental health. Starting over was hard, and it was a totally new adjustment, but it was exciting, and it really distracted me from my own pit of depression. Okay, so now we're to the present. I still struggle sometimes. It comes in waves. Sometimes it lasts a couple days, couple weeks, couple months, but for the most part I do pretty well. My kids do a really good job of distracting me, and you know, my husband has changed a lot, and he's doing really well right now, knock on wood. You know how that is. But you know, if you're somebody like me who's too afraid to ask for help, or you just don't really want to feel like a burden, put that pride aside. Go get help. Live a happy life. Take care of your brain. Take care of your body. Let other people help you. There's resources beyond belief out there. And you know, if you guys ever like need advice, or if you're struggling with something, do not be afraid to go message me on Instagram, and I will do my best to help you. But thank you guys for listening to my journey, and I hope that I can help the next person. So, love y'all.